What happened at Tampa International Airport is that we had a flight that had to make an emergency landing after the aircraft dropped, seemingly based on available flight data, over 15,000 feet in a matter of minutes. And according to reports from some passengers, the aircraft was in a nosedive sustained over at least several seconds, which is an extremely severe and concerning situation, and clearly indicates that the pilots had essentially lost control of the aircraft. And that's why they had to make their emergency land. What makes this incident really, really concerning, not only for the passengers who unfortunately suffered injuries, which is very unfortunate, but also for the whole aviation community, is that there's a high risk that there was something wrong with the flight control systems themselves. There are a lot of systems on these modern aircraft, whether it's Airbus or Boeing, that are mediated through computers and are designed for this not to happen. And when an aircraft, loses a lot of altitude against the wishes and apparently against the inputs of the pilots, and the pilots aren't able to keep the aircraft level, we've seen what the tragic consequences of that can be in the Boeing MAX crashes from several years ago. I think the pilots and the passengers, even though there have been terrible injuries, were very fortunate that this happened when they were at cruising altitude, and for lack of a better term, they had some room to come down. Because if this had happened during takeoff or landing, the consequences could have been much, much more severe. Experience of flying through such a steep drop of altitude is extremely traumatic. Blood rushes to your head. You have a heightened sense of consciousness because of just the concentration of blood in your head. If anybody listening to this, or if you've ever been in a turbulent flight and felt butterflies in your stomach, that's at moderate turbulence. If these passengers experience what seems to have happened here physically and psychologically, they experience something very seriously. So I would be really, my heart goes out to the passengers and thinking very much about the psychological injuries as well, even if folks were lucky to come away unscraped, physiologically in terms of bodily injuries.